good afternoon, good evening, maybe even good morning, depending where you are. My name is Stephen Chudy, and I'm speaking to you from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. This is part one of the Online Language Pedagogy series. Part one, Designing Interaction for Online Language Learning, is a series that will take us through 5 sessions of webinars. And in each session, we have several lessons of material. So before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about these bullet points. I'll go through them slowly. The National Foreign Language Resource Center, which is the sponsor of this event, is housed here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. We're a federal grant-funded center using funding under Title VI from the U.S. Department of Education. We're the oldest of 16 language resource centers, and we're in our 25th year of operation. Our mission is to improve the teaching and learning of world languages in the United States. Our major themes in this grant cycle, of which we are in the second year, are project-based language learning and professional development for online language instructors. And guess where you are? Your instructor for this series is Bridget Beaver, who is online here with us today. She is an MA in Japanese language education from the University of Pittsburgh. She studied abroad in Japan. She's certified as a Japanese language teacher in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. This is her fifth year teaching at the North Carolina Virtual Public School, and she has a strong interest and focus on comprehensible input. Bridget, can you just turn on your mic and say hello to everyone so your voice is familiar?
Hi, everybody. I'm really glad to have all of you here, and I'm really looking forward.
Great. Thanks, Bridget. You cut out a little bit there at the end.
To this class with all of you.
Okay, sorry about that. Other team members who are working on this project include Julio Rodriguez, who is not joining us today. He's in South Africa at the moment. Ellen Hart, who's the Instructional Director for World Languages and Arts Education at the North Carolina Virtual Public School. Sung Jiang, who is the Associate Director of the NFLRC. And the final 3 people are all present here today. That's Hui-Ya Zhuang, Russ Suvorov, and myself, Stephen Chudy. Here's a little bit of information. This PowerPoint that you're looking at now is linked to in the schedule on the series website. The series website has a long URL web address that you received in an email. But in case you lost the email, you don't know, grab a pencil right now and write down this shortened URL that I have given you. That is the website for this whole series. And that's pretty much all you need is that website and this webinar, the link that allows you to join the webinar. So that URL is https://goo.gl/ev_B31t. And that should be your landing pad for all the activities that you're doing in this series. On the website, there's a schedule button, and that will take you to TED Ed lessons. So each of our lessons has its own little TED Ed. Now, TED Ed is a procedure for learning. There'll be some source material, and then it will invite you to discuss. So the stages in the TED Ed are watch, think, dig deeper, and discuss. We're using TED Ed a little bit differently from the usual because our watch portion doesn't really have the content. It just is an introduction. To see the actual meat, the content that we're talking about, you have to go to the dig deeper section. Also, the think portion, which is usually a mini quiz on what you have just watched, is more of a pre-test, just to get you thinking about the questions. However, the final step, discuss, is going to be a required step for each of you if you want to receive the badge that this series will confer and to receive continuing education unit credit that's based on receiving that badge. If you have any questions today, it would be best if you pose the question by typing in the chat box that should be at the lower left. Most of you are very familiar with using Blackboard Collaborate, so you know how to use that chat box. Just click in that blank box and type. I'll be keeping an eye on that box all through the session and taking note of questions that come up about the content or procedural questions. You can also type there. Okay, so this webinar series, we're going to meet once a week at this same time. During each webinar, we're going to deal with 3 lessons worth of material for a total of 15. And then you're also going to participate in that online discussion at the TED Ed. We're using Blackboard Collaborate, which I know I found a little bit confusing at first. So if you have those questions, just type them in the text chat box at the lower left. If you have a burning question during a presentation or during the Q&A, use the raise hand icon that you'll see just above the name list where people's names are. You see that little hand. That means you're raising your hand and you want to speak. Attendance at these sessions is required if you want to receive the continuing education credit or the badge that we're conferring. If you need to miss, please email our instructor, Bridget. You see her email address here on screen. It's also available at the website. The talk button in Blackboard. Right now, I have clicked my talk button one time, and so my microphone is active. As soon as I finish talking, I'm going to click it again to switch it off. Please make sure that your talk button is not activated while someone else has the floor. Thanks. All right, we're going to have 3 lessons today. Here they are. The first lesson from Professor Julie Sykes, University of Oregon, is on student content interaction with a focus on theory. The second lesson is student content interaction with a focus on best practices from Professor Catherine Murphy-Judy from Virginia Commonwealth University. The third lesson is student content interaction with a focus on technology by Russ Suvorov from the Center for Language and Technology here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. With that, I'd like to hand over the floor to Professor Julie Sykes